Daniel would end up sending his managers texts stating that he was at a union station.
They're not managers, they're kids trolling him.
Daniel's managers warned against him quitting services and being independent.
Can you show where they give pushback?
The managers provided a step-by-step over the phone on how to get there and use the maps, but gotcha. Daniel, he just wouldn't listen, man.
How do you know that? Oh, dude, this guy is one of the managers.
If you've watched any of Papa's videos on Daniel, you'd know that he is an avid Larson defender.
No, I'm not. I'm a 35-year-old man that's not a 15-year-old idiot pretending that he's not one of the managers.
And has defended his acts of pedophilia many times.
I've never defended his acts of pedophilia. You guys have all this overwhelming evidence that Daniel Larson is a pedophile, and yet you guys are his managers. The images of him liking young girls, the narrative isn't entirely accurate. Oh, dude, why would you leave that in the video? That makes it look like you're taking me out of context.
Obviously, he isn't capable of living on his own.
Why isn't he capable of living on his own, unless it's because of his mental health problems? You agree with me? This video is a massive self-report. All right. Apparently this video is a lot about me. It's about Daniel Larson, a cursed topic, frankly, honestly. At this point, the situation is so convoluted and insane, you know, the quick take on this here is Daniel Larson is a legitimate threat to himself and other people. He belongs in a group home. He used to be in a group home. He got trolled out of the group home because he thought he could be a famous musician or something. He needs to be put back in a group home and with higher levels of restrictions. You know, he's still to this day harassing and stalking Grace Vanderwall. He's more temperamental than he's ever been. He needs to, frankly, have his social media taken away. And that's pretty much it. You know, he's a guy with autism and I believe schizophrenia. He's support needed, and I think he needs more and more support every day from just the way that he's acting. He's very volatile. And I know he's gotten out of control, especially to the point where like some of the people around him that may have cared about him, they can't do anything about it. And so it's almost like a lost cause. You know, it would have been good if he wasn't, you know, bullied out of his group home setting. I'm not saying he was a good person, but at least he was under control when he was inside of a group home setting. You know, but let's see. This goes all the way back to 2021. Before I even knew how crazy Daniel Larson was. Well, I don't know if I should use the word crazy. How crazy the situation surrounding him. All right, let's go. Like, listen, when I was young, I liked to troll a little bit too. Oh, it's on 2x speed. Sorry about that. When I was young, I liked to troll a little bit too. But like, this is pathetic. You know, this isn't just like a little trolling, a little poking fun. This is like you had a fucking dude with a mental disability. True. You've manipulated him into leaving his disability service and then running across the country to be famous. Yeah.
If I'm not back, there will be a warrant out for my arrest.
What I will tell you is that what you're doing is highly illegal, and you're going to get caught. You need to encourage Daniel to go back home, because I will find out who you are, and I will report you to the police. Damn, dude. All right. Pretty interesting beginning. Pretty fucking intense.
This all started in mid-August of 2021, when Daniel wasn't nearly as well known as he...
Shit, you want to know what, honestly? Because I've been staying away from a lot of the Daniel Larson stuff. Because I feel like, especially since I've been thinking, and I wonder how much of like me was the problem. You know, especially towards the beginning where I didn't realize how crazy it was, and maybe I didn't even realize how influential the internet was at the time. And how much I riled like shit up. That's why I try not to talk about it too much, because I wonder if I haven't exactly been a particularly productive force for Daniel Larson either. You know, it's one of those things where like maybe towards the end, but you know, was I in towards the beginning or was I fucking not great? You know,
he is today. Nonetheless, he still had around 100,000 followers on his TikTok account at the time of this incident, and was making waves on the app. As many of you may know, Daniel has always had various managers that are in his ear telling him what to do or...
Well, when they say managers, they mean like 15-year-olds that try to like troll him. Like they're the ones that convinced him to get naked on the TikTok live stream and to like leave his home and stuff. There was even a point where they had like access to his accounts. They were taking some of his money, pretending that it was actually going to Grace Vanderwall. Like they feed his delusions. It's very toxic.
Say all the time. In 2021, he was quote-unquote signed.
That's why I feel like there's really nothing I could say anymore of productive value to change anything. Like unfortunately, it's a lost cause situation. But what am I gonna do? Hopefully Daniel just gets taken off the streets and put in a fucking like institution or something. You know, it's just like there's nothing. Me talking about it, it doesn't produce any productive value anymore. you know?
With Party House Records, a group of a few online individuals primarily led by their most notable manager, Flexburger.
Yeah, kids. They're fucking like teenagers trolling Daniel Larson.
Daniel had been living in
which hopefully they'll grow up and be like, oh shit, man, maybe I shouldn't have done some of the shit that I did. I don't know.
Disability services for multiple years after a physical altercation with his now late paralyzed mother sometime around 2018.
Yeah, I think that he grew up around his grandma because like he had a less than stellar like home life. I actually think he was in like some kind of like group home when he was a kid. Like there's something very complicated going on between him and his mother. I don't think that he was necessarily raised well or in like a productive home setting. That's what makes Daniel Larson so dangerous now, is not only does he have like autism and schizophrenia, he's also got massive behavioral problems because of like his upbringing.
Would unfortunately lead to his first ever arrest. Given his circumstances, Larson had it made. He got to live in nice middle-class homes, receive free meals, and most importantly, have caretakers that truly looked after him.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but it's like, dude, listen, I'm going to bring it up and it's going to sound cringe, but my wife works in group home settings in New York. So like the setting, they're much more robust. Like she literally works 4 group homes. It's not like necessarily a nice life. Okay. It's, you know, that you pay people not enough money to help take care of you. The system's always overburdened. It's a mess, man. It's not all fucking fun and games growing up in a group home setting. And like you're basically forced to be around other people who have their own issues and behaviors going on that'll have an impact on you, man. It's fucking crazy. Like I visited them before. The people are great, but like it's not like they're even a really great middle class upbringing. The group home settings they suck, dude. Especially since in a lot of instances you don't have the freedom to be able to like date or anything. It's not like fucking peachy keen, man. I would just urge you guys to go visit a group home and just be like, yo, this is fucking great. You know, for you, the fundamentals might sound great. Like, oh man, you get to live in a house for free, generally speaking, and you can chill. That's for sure. Like that sounds nice. It sounds nice, but like it's not how it is. You know, a lot of the things that you're prompted constantly to do, you know, do particular things like shower and this and that. And it's, you know, you typically struggle to be able to form relationships. And then there's also like the mental perspective of like your family isn't really around you at all. And then there's like an anger that builds up like, well, why don't they want to be around me? And then you have all these different things. And then plus, again, this guy's schizophrenic. So he's like, it's not like all fun and games like you seem to think it is. It's a little silly, man. The framing already is a little silly.
Following his growing internet presence and the delusion that he was this international superstar celebrity.
Yes, the delusion, especially for somebody that's, from what I remember, he's schizophrenic. And it's very difficult to de-escalate somebody's perspective on things when they're schizophrenic because they're living in like an alternate reality. You know, thoughts become some form of reality to them. That's why he's so obsessed and like stalking Grace Vanderwall. Because he thinks that they're dating, because he's delusional.
He had been arguing with his disability services about leaving the program and living on his own to pursue his quote-unquote career. Of course, this was not realistic to them at all, especially considering that he had no money and he was Daniel Larson of all people.
What would you like to talk about?
I'm not going to be involved. I'm not going to sit here and continue to play these games and continue to go nowhere for another year. I'm not going to sit here and do this. If it takes me to get enough money and then just quit services, I will by all means do it.
At this point,
I mean, it's like that again. That it's interesting that you framed it like, oh, he's like right now we're not at the crazy Daniel Larson that is like obsessed with Grace Vanderwall. He hasn't been like his mind hasn't been completely warped by the internet yet. Basically he's expressing, I wish I had more freedoms. That's pretty much it, which is, again, it's just something that's very common inside of group home settings.
He was at his 4th or 5th home at the very least. Not necessarily because his program had him randomly move, but because Daniel was extremely rude and abusive towards these loving families that he lived with, who had a passion for taking care of people with disabilities.
That might be true. I mean, I don't know if you know. I don't know the exact reason why he was moved. I don't know that you know either. There are abusive circumstances like this. Just to be clear, you wouldn't get moved because you had an altercation with one of your DSPs. So it could have been that he was abusive. Absolutely, it could have been. I don't know. I don't think that you know either. I think you're speculating based on this like one situation, or maybe I'm wrong and you'll show like a ton of evidence where like you know why he was moved exactly. But this is commonplace inside of group homes for somebody to have behaviors like this and to fight staff. It's literally like a thing where like you're, especially as staff, and it sucks to be like a direct support professional. That's what this guy is. That you're not even allowed to like fight back. If they're attacking you, you can do particular protocols to like stop them, but you can't like stop them the way that you would like to. It can be extraordinarily difficult. So
What? Get on me! Get on me! If you try to hit me one more time, bitch! I have it all on recording!
Daniel, of course, would tear holes in the walls, he would scream nonstop, and he would threaten violence and much, much more.
yeah, that could have got him moved. It's possible, especially since he was with other people, and those people, they might have had requests. There's a lot of politics in it too, because of like the families, especially when the families have a lot of money and they have influence, and there's so much shit going on there.
Specifically written in this document by a caretaker, dated 2019, leaked by Flexburger, it was noted that Daniel had a history of property damage, as well as abusing animals. On top of this, he also had a history of self-injurious behavior, as well as verbally threatening or hitting providers when he got upset.
I wonder who actually said that. I'm very curious, because that's way beyond. That's definitely a big no-no to talk about. I'm pretty sure that's a violation for a DSP or anybody that's in this field to have these conversations with anybody. So if they did do it, that's incredibly unprofessional. And then I also am questioning of the the validity of the source. I'm not saying he wasn't violent. I'm just saying that's a pretty big no-no. You're supposed to know that when, as a fucking direct support professional. You're supposed to know that you're not supposed to say these things.
Out of curiosity, Flexburger would actually end up speaking to one of Daniel's care providers over the phone, JP, in which he dubbed living with Larson a nightmare. JP would end up saying that his wife had convinced him to get into the special needs program, and the couple have since regretted it after their run-in with him. One night after talking with JP, Flex would end up sending all of Daniel's evidence of rampant pedophilia to the two. He did this not only so that they would be aware of what he had been doing online, but also because the couple had lived with little kids of their own. The care providers deeply appreciated the information.
I'm confused. Did he live in the house with them?
Edited after their run-in with him. One night after talking with JP, Flex would end up sending all of Daniel's evidence of rampant pedophilia to the
Yeah, there was a lot of liked images on Pinterest and like saved images on Pinterest from Daniel Larson. Incredibly questioning. It's hard to tell if it was Daniel Larson liking them necessarily, because there was a point where like his managers got a hold of his TikTok account, and then they made the likes public, and I don't know if they liked it to make him seem like a pedophile, which he might be, by the way, which also he needs to be taken off the streets. Whether he's a pedophile or not is almost, I mean, it's relevant, but like he's a danger regardless, so he needs to be taken off the streets. He lived with. That's interesting. That's a weird program. What kind of program is that?
Too. He did this not only so that they would be aware of what he had been doing online, but also because the couple had lived with little kids of their own. The care providers deeply appreciated the information and said that they were always.
That's a very strange program. That sounds like not nearly enough restriction on Daniel Larson. What kind of group home was that?
Curious of what Daniel was up to on his phone. Obviously disgusted at
hopefully they pass that along to some kind of like behavioral specialist so that they can implement some kind of a protocol for Daniel Larson, because he needs, if like it is true, there needs to be heavier restrictions inside of his his plan, that he can't like go outside alone. Must be weird different in Colorado. Maybe. It's just very unconventional. Maybe they have a program like that. I know that in New York they'll have assisted apartment complexes where they'll have someone check in on you once a month. And before all this bullshit internet fame, like he might have qualified for something like that. But I've never heard of that program. But you said it's Colorado, so it might be different. Gotcha. Okay, so Colorado has programs that allow people with disabilities to live in private homes, including host homes and supported living services. These programs aim to provide support and assistance while promoting independence and community living for individuals with disabilities. Here's more detailed explanation. Residential host homes. This program often offered by organizations like Special Kids, Special Families, with individual disabilities in private homes with trained professional or providers who offer support and care. The provider coordinates with the individual's care team, the state agency. I mean, listen, I didn't realize that he lived inside of homes with other people. This information needs to be passed on to somebody that's taking care, like that. I mean, I imagine he would have a behavioral specialist. Usually like with a behavioral specialist, what they'll do is they'll write behavioral protocols for the people that are being supported, because he needs to be in a more robust like group home setting if he has this like weird affinity towards kids. It needs to be noted that he can't leave the house. Yeah, they probably trained you. They probably watch a PowerPoint. Probably. It probably doesn't take a whole lot to get the training, but still.
Daniel had been doing behind their backs. They would end up confronting him with...
I don't know what these are.
Which caused
a searches. Okay.
Huge meltdown on Daniel's end. Daniel would end up keep denying that he was a pedophile, but the care providers were not necessarily buying it because they quite literally had, proof of it. worried that he might get in further trouble.
I just wish we could see these meltdowns or something, because a lot of this is like you're telling us that this happened. Maybe it did. I don't know.
Daniel attempted to divert their attention by picking up a kitchen knife and threatening to stab them.
That's crazy. Where are we getting that information from is the only thing. I'm just questioning the source of information.
Following this, his only consequence would be staying overnight in a mental hospital.
I mean, that's definitely like an issue with the system, if this is true.
No matter how much damage he had done to a home or things like that, the disability service would still be extremely lenient and send him off to the next family to give hell. And despite getting numerous second chances after incidents like this, Daniel would still give in to his temptations of living on his own one night. Now living with his care provider, Jonas, in the Green Valley Ranch neighborhood in Aurora, Colorado.
So is this an actual group home setting? Because I remember at one point, the only thing that I was aware of was he lived with another person with a disability.
One summer evening, Daniel would end up walking all the way to the Gaylord Rockies Hotel Resort, which was around an hour and a half walk away, keep in mind. I guess his goal was to somehow secure a room for the night, which wasn't necessarily going to happen because, of course, he had no money. So instead, he decided to roam around the resort, posting TikToks and camping out in the bathroom. The couple hours that he was there, he was texting and
Yes, I know about Bob. Yeah, Bob Proctor. Is that his name? Am I stupid?
arguing with his providers and Bob, who both insisted that he return back home immediately. When closing, he was approached by a security guard who would end up kicking him out of.
I wonder if that's true. It says here that Daniel said, "I am my own legal guardian. I can do what I want." That's where things get like tricky in the field. It's just such a weird situation because I don't know. It takes a lot to get people the proper. I mean, I won't say help, but restrictions. The restrictions that need to happen here, because he probably is his own legal guardian, and it gets very finicky. It can be very tricky on properly disciplining him. But it sounds like so for the court, if these things are true, what they're saying, that he is very violent in other people's homes when they're on some kind of program. Which again, I wish we had more proof of this other than like, hey, a guy might have said it, and a few pictures. But if that's the case, then like the system definitely failed him.
The venue,
or like not even failed him. I mean, really failed us, no?
resulting in Daniel's plan A.
I mean, this is the thing about people with disabilities is, you know, just because they have a disability doesn't mean that they're instantly a good person. And so far, it seems like Daniel Larson, I could feel empathetic for his troubled past of having an issue with like his mother and his grandmother and different things like that, and not growing up like in a stable environment, because I think he grew up in like a kid's home. But you get to a certain point where you are destructive in a way that makes it so that you shouldn't be living with the general population, and like higher restriction from Daniel Larson is certainly needed.
Of course, being a total failure. And after walking back home in the dark the following morning,
Sorry, what was this?
being a total
Very rude management security will stop you and follow you everywhere. Is this actually Daniel Larson? That's surprisingly literate from him, to be honest with you. Okay.
failure.
Is this real? This is like really literate. Is this actually Daniel Larson talking? I am my own legal guardian. I can do what I want. Is this actually him? Very rude management. I'm only questioning if this is really him because I've seen the way that Daniel Larson types, and he's just not this articulate. I don't even know where to see where we got this from, but I'll take his word for it.
And after walking back
He's not gonna lie, he types more normally than you'd think, or uses text to speech often. Oh, maybe. From everything I've seen, he types like so bizarrely. That's why. But maybe that's more towards now, where his fucking brain is completely. He's gone. He's completely far gone.
home in the dark the following morning, Daniel's managers would never imagine what he had in store next. That was because the morning of the 18th, Daniel was now roaming around downtown Denver, which during that summer is something that he'd typically do.
I believe like the more official term that they use is like he elopes. So he just escapes over and over again. Like my wife has people in like group home settings that she deals with that like will constantly, they'll just kind of run away, and then you got to call the police and you got to try to get him back. And then I wonder how easy it is for them to get him back, because I wonder if he really is his own guardian. I don't know how it works there. That might be one of the biggest problems, is that he has too much agency over himself. He needs to be more watched. Because I wonder if you can even get him back home. I wonder if you're even allowed to do that. If he's technically his own guardian, I wonder if he has to do it voluntarily.
Do if it wasn't so totally out of the ordinary. You see, a lot of the restaurants nearby, as covered in the first prototype episode, is where Flexburger and his friends would have Daniel do the iconic Celebrity in the Hospital videos. Daniel would end up sending his managers texts stating,
"What are the Celebrity in the Hospital videos? What does that mean?" And please, you got to stop calling them manager. This is one of the weird framing pieces of this, is that like he's calling them managers, like they're kids that are trolling Daniel Larson. That doesn't make Daniel Larson a good person. but it's dangerous for other people when you start trolling him. Because then he acts out and he gets aggressive with other people. It's really stupid. All right, yeah, now I remember. Like, he'll walk up on somebody and be like, there's a celebrity in the hospital, like, troll them for content.
Daniel would end up sending his managers texts stating that he was at a union station.
Stop calling them managers, dude. They're not managers. They're kids trolling him. I don't understand.
Waiting to hop on an Amtrak to Los Angeles, while Daniel's managers...
As many reasonable criticisms you could definitely make against me for like how I've handled the situation and like ways I've been ignorant. Like calling them managers is validating them in a way where it's like they're just actual managers. They're not managers. They're people trolling Daniel Larson so that they could like fucking get him to do wild shit and then make content out of it.
Time worked against him quitting services and being independent. They wanted Daniel to stay in the Denver area where he had support in case something were to go wrong.
Have you seen the fucking video with Papa Got that just came out about me? Emergency, what? I'm quitting my services today. Okay, yeah, I mean, this, obviously. Okay.
As
Let me see. I can't read what the rest is. Yeah, 16-year-old, okay.
well as that being at the time where his mentor Bob lived. Upon trying to talk Daniel out of it, he was as expected, stubborn as always, and did not listen. They were being realistic with him, saying that he would have nowhere to go, and it wouldn't necessarily be the best idea. At this point, realizing there was no stopping him, the managers decided to take a step back and let Daniel figure this one out on his own. Amtrak tickets cost a couple $100s, which Daniel didn't have.
What? I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. I'm not believing this. You just showed us a text message between Daniel Larson and them. Can you show us the text messages? This is a text message apparently from Daniel Larson to a manager, right? One of the trolls. That says he's quitting his services. Can you show where they give pushback? Because I don't know what we're looking at here, but it says, is this Daniel Larson? I don't know what's happening here. Let your mind to be free. Tell me what you would do to me, a 16-year-old. Let your mind be free. And then I'm guessing Daniel says, okay, I would do what you want. Do you... I can't read what. So do you squirt? Yeah, this was shit. That was fucking weird as shit. If you have text messages from them and you're telling us that they were like, "Oh, Daniel, you shouldn't leave," why aren't you showing those text messages to prove your point? This is a weird whitewash of like the inappropriate behavior from these fucking trolls. Again, Daniel Larson is not a good person, but this is some freak shit.
Necessarily be the best idea. At this point, realizing there was no stopping him, the managers decided to take a step back and let Daniel figure this one out on his own. Amtrak
Holy fuck! This is a weird cum guzzle.
Tickets cost a couple $100s, which Daniel didn't have. Assuming nothing would come out of it, sometime later, management was in for a huge surprise to find out that Daniel had quite literally snuck onto the fucking Amtrak train. When asking Daniel,
you're aware that Daniel's taking a train to Denver, right? To Cali, it says. Okay, they said. Okay, they correct themselves. What? Huh? Okay.
When asking Daniel how the hell he did this, he claimed that he just walked right on and no questions were asked. I guess if you want to hitch a free
probably because he's like a homeless looking guy.
Ride somewhere, Amtrak is the...
Why do you have so many text messages, but you can't show us what the supposed managers were like? Hey, Daniel, this is a bad idea.
Way to go. Oh my god. Flex was able to track Daniel's train via the handy Amtrak website, finding out that he was taking the 5 California Zephyr and was currently passing through a town named Hot Sulphur Springs, a remote town around 2 hours away from Denver. At this point, it was official that Daniel was about to leave the state of Colorado on his own, for the first time ever. And of course, out of concern, Flex would end up suggesting that he should call Bob and let him know of his whereabouts. As expected.
Why can't you show us the proof for this? This video is really weird.
Bob was not happy whatsoever. He stated that
why I don't understand how you have all these screenshots, which means that you're in association with these supposed managers, but you can't provide the screenshots proving these things. I'm pretty sure this is just an attempt to like change the actual history around what happened with Daniel Larson.
While Daniel was in Colorado, he found a way to get off the train so that Bob could pick him up and take him back home.
I think that they're upset that they got called out for like trying to like fucking with Daniel Larson in a way that made him more of a danger to other people. And now they're like, let's make a whitewash video that's actually just with a completely different narrative.
Bob even considered calling the police to somehow get him off, But at this point, Daniel was nearing Utah on a moving train, and it seemed like as if there was no backing out. Besides, moving to California to pursue his modeling and musical career is exactly what Daniel had always dreamed of. And now, it was finally happening. An hour or so later after—
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why he was so obsessed with Grace Vanderwaals. Like, it's very strange stuff. But again, they played into it.
panicking,
I'm pretty sure, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure before this point, they trolled him into thinking he had a contract with Sony, and so he should take his pants off in front of people on TikTok Live.
realized that this was out of his control and just decided to let Daniel navigate wherever the fuck he may end up on his own. This wasn't easy for him because in his mind, this may have been the final time he would even hear from Daniel. And the issue with Daniel quitting services is that that's not exactly how it works.
It kind of is. It can be. But he hasn't been back into services. I think that the biggest thing that this video wants to do is to try to take all the blame off of the people that they keep saying are managers, which are really just trolls, and how they got Daniel Larson. They convinced him of his delusion that he can be a famous singer person by getting him to like do weird shit. And like they're definitely a big part to play in trolling him into leaving to go to California, but they don't want that criticism because they know that they fucked up.
Running away from the disability home, they are still very much responsible for anything that might happen to him. Management, on the other hand, soon would realize that he was in fact not headed towards LA, and instead his final destination would be Oakland.
Okay, so California?
Hearing how dangerous the Bay Area can be at times, this was about to be a bigger disaster than anyone had ever imagined.
Okay.
At this time, it was just a waiting game, and the only thing that could cross the manager's mind was that, well, Daniel was fucked. The managers would end up resuming their normal lives while Daniel—
Stop calling them managers. They're not— this video is like not even worth watching. It's so bad.
was still on the train. Flexberger was busy attending his school's brand new orientation, all while—
This is just some weird— this is such a weird video. I honestly don't know if it's worth finishing, because I don't think that there's going to be anything productive about this at all. I don't think that me talking about this anymore, I don't think it'll be I mean, how productive could this possibly be? This whole video, I don't know. This whole video, like, dude, honestly, like, criticize me for the dumb shit that I've done. When it comes to this Daniel Larson shit, I probably, like, I definitely have, like I'm an aspect to play in, giving him attention in a way that's like super unproductive. Absolutely. Like, I've said some dumb shit about certain things, 100%. But it's fucking so strange that like this guy is just jerking off these supposed managers over and over again. It's weird. They're not managers, they're trolls.
This was unfolding. Daniel would eventually send videos and pictures of himself on the train, and it was clear that this was a pretty upscale train to be on. At times, Daniel was seen hiding in the corner of the Amtrak, which made everyone so curious on how he allegedly never got confronted. Not to mention how homeless he looked. Management assumed that he would have gotten kicked out for obviously not having an actual ticket.
Why are you saying that he's management?
But the employees just didn't seem to care, or at least they didn't seem to notice. And later, upon heading into Reno, Nevada, Larson would end up sending additional pictures from outside of his window. He was nearing
Maybe he's one of the managers, probably, yeah.
The final 24 hours of this freebie cruise across the western United States. A day later, at 5 p.m. local time, it would finally be time to lock in for the managers, as this multiple-day
The fucking manager.
train ride would be nearing its end.
I can't take
Approaching
this
Emeryville,
seriously.
a suburb of Oakland, where the train station was located, Daniel would hop off and begin exploring as what he wished for was finally happening. But as the famous saying goes, be careful what you wish for. You see, over the phone with his managers, he would FaceTime and make TikToks boasting that he had arrived in what he thought was Los Angeles.
I'm pretty sure that one of the things that the managers were doing was that they were getting Daniel Larson to send videos to them, and then they were posting it on his TikTok, so that they had control over his TikTok, from what I remember. I'm so fucking confused. I thought the managers returned back to their daily life. What?
He also made a new account named Daniel Larson in SoCal, dedicated to vlogging his new life in SoCal.
Okay.
Except he wasn't in SoCal. He was in NorCal. Someone actually made a post to the r/Daniel Larson subreddit saying that they had spotted him nearby. Of course, no one took this post seriously, and they thought that they had just seen a Larson lookalike, until people started to take a look at Daniel's TikTok. Still in high spirits, Daniel would post TikToks showing off random houses in the neighborhood that he was strutting through. Daniel's rush of happiness would soon fade away as it was nearing dinner time and he realized that he had nowhere to stay. Flex would end up pitching at the idea of staying overnight at a homeless shelter, which Daniel was highly offended at. He was an international superstar. As Daniel was slowly starting to become more frantic, the three
Why aren't you showing screenshots of that? You supposedly have all these screenshots.
managers suggested that he take shelter in a Hyatt hotel lobby that was just a couple blocks away, and then figure out what to do from there. They told Daniel to use Google Maps to help navigate him, which he had absolutely no clue how to use. It soon turned into an argument on how Daniel wasn't able to follow such simple directions. The managers provided
Why can't you show us that?
a step-by-step over the phone on how to get there and use the
this
maps,
one's over the
but
phone, gotcha.
Daniel, he just wouldn't listen, man. By now it was sometime
How do you know that? Oh, dude, this guy is one of the managers. That's what it was. Okay, I actually understand. That confirms it for me. This is one of the managers that's been like really upset that they got called out for being part of the reason why Daniel Larson is a legitimate threat to society. And a big part of that reason is because Daniel Larson is somebody with fucking autism, schizophrenia, massive behavioral problems, and he needs to be put in like some kind of an institution. But this guy is sitting here and he's like, guys, you remember when we used to troll the fuck out of him and got him to like leave and not be in his group home setting? What if I made a video showing screenshots that communicated that I clearly had? I have information. I have behind the scenes information. But I'm not going to show ones that are relevant to every single dumb, false claim that I make about how we're just managers and you're 15. What are you, 17 now? Like what is happening here? This video is so weird. Please criticize me for the fucking problems that I've had in the way that I've talked about the topic and some of the dumb shit I said. Be my fucking guest. It's a reason why I don't talk about it anymore. I feel like I'm not really productive in this conversation anymore, and maybe I never was. But holy fuck, what are you doing? Why are you defending like your shit behavior? Just you were a fucking dumb kid. You still are. And instead of being like, damn, I had some negative impact in fucking overplaying Daniel Larson's just unhinged mental perspective that he was like fucking dating Grace Vanderwall. Instead of doing that and just taking a step back, you make a video because you're like, no guys, fuck, I got caught. What are you doing? This is weird. This is so strange. Even referring to yourself as a manager is so pathetic.
time around 8 or 9 p.m. It was starting to get dark, and after wandering around the neighborhoods of Emeryville, Daniel would end up finally finding a hotel to step into. Specifically, the Hilton Garden Inn, just across the street from the Amtrak station, showing that he was only around in circles all evening. Knowing he would get kicked out if he slept in the lobby, Flex had Daniel take the stairs and try to sleep in the staircase. Sitting on the steps, Daniel made a few TikToks out of desperation, asking fans to donate to his Cash App.
Hello, everyone. My name.
And by the way, from what I remember, this wasn't a Cash App for Daniel Larson. It was a Cash App for Daniel Larson and to Grace Vanderwall, in which the quote unquote managers had access to. I don't know if are you gonna add that in there?
My name is Daniel Larson. I am currently
Because half of it was for Grace, guys, and the other half was for Daniel. Just so you guys know. But of course, he's not actually dating Grace. So where's the other half going? Oh wait, okay.
homeless
Oh, the quote unquote managers.
and in a hotel elevator. Please support. Please donate to my Cash App at Daniel and Grace.
It's so weird that there are like watermarks here on TikTok. Because at the time, I just made no sense. At the time, nowadays, I think you can upload it with the watermark, but like it means it's just weird. That means that like somebody was making the video and then downloading the video and then they were reposting the video. It's very strange shit.
Support. Please donate
The
to
managers don't remember
my
that.
Cash
True.
App at Daniel and Grace.
Okay.
Thank you. All I need is $1. Please support.
Okay.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm currently homeless. Please donate to my Cash App at Daniel and Grace. Thank you.
See, what did I'm telling you, what did I say? At Daniel and Grace. I remember this. I don't know. They're obviously not going to show this for a good reason. This is when they had access to the account and they were pretending that they were Grace Vanderwall. This is what they were doing. They were pretending that they were Grace Vanderwall and that they were taking half of the money from Daniel Larson. That's what part of it is. It's just so funny that I remember these things, and it's so interesting that they forgot the context of that. Okay.
Please donate to my Cash App at Daniel and Grace. Thank you.
After getting spooked by a custodian that kept passing him, he decided
I guess Mr. Manager over here is not going to respond to that part of it though. Okay.
spend the night in the hotel lobby's bathroom stall.
Hello, everyone. I'm currently homeless. Please donate to my Cash App
Okay.
at Daniel and Grace. Hello everyone, I am homeless. Please like and please
Okay.
donate to my Cash App at Daniel and Grace. Thank you.
People on the subreddit began connecting the dots and came to the conclusion that it was his management who made him go to California. Specifically, while he was making these videos begging for donations, Flixburger was heavily under fire with people trying to dox him. The following Reddit post reads,
Well, I mean, he was responsible for this, and so...
looking for info on Flexburger. If you know Flexburger personally at all,
Okay.
or know anything about him like social media and active accounts, please come forward and say something. As well as many other harsher posts
Do you guys think this is Flexburger?
that have since been deleted. With a lot of pressure on management's back, thousands of people thinking that they
Management, dude. It's so... Every time they say management is a self-report. Every time he says management. Like, could you have to be a stupid little kid to think that that, like, makes any sense. Management. What does that mean? Can you explain the type of management that a fucking schizophrenic, support level needed autistic, behavioral, potential pedophile, absolute threat to society needs from 15-year-olds? Could you explain what that looks like? Management. Every time you say management, you are sitting here telling us that you are a fucking idiot. And that you are part of the problem. What management? What were you managing? Because he says in here, this guy jokes about how Daniel Larson had the delusion of being this celebrity. But then you call yourself managers. You call yourself a manager. You call these people, which I'm assuming are you, managers. What are they managing? If it's a delusion, what are they managing? There's so many fucking self-reports in this video. It makes you sound so fucking stupid.
They were the ones who caused this. They decided to feed Daniel some lines to say that thousands of people thinking that they were the ones who caused this. They decided to feed Daniel some lines to say that would end up backfiring. They told Daniel to tell TikTok that he hadn't heard from them in days.
Wait, why would you need a lie about that? Wait, you just told us that it was a lie that you hadn't heard from them in days? I'm a little confused. I thought, wait, what?
Management label. I haven't heard from you guys in 2 days.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
Message
That's me.
Thank you. Please message me now.
Yeah, no, we all thought that this was just like ridiculous shit, but this is very serious. Do I think that the managers aren't communicating with him because they abandoned him? I think that they think it's funny, yeah.
Attempting to
That's probably true.
make people think that they had little no involvement with running away. When in reality, they were the ones behind the scenes trying to do everything that they could to help Daniel with the situation that he got himself into.
Show us the screenshots then. You're showing us screenshots between you and the managers, probably you as the manager. Show us more screenshots. You have behind the scenes, you showed us a couple of behind the scenes screenshots. Why do you all of a sudden have no screenshots to prove these points? You have screenshots to prove that you have contact with Daniel Larson and behind the scenes shit apparently. So why aren't you showing us those screenshots that prove that you're right? I mean, it's almost embarrassing that you didn't even bother to try to fake it. I mean, that's pathetic.
This, however, only ended up making things look worse for them. This is when Papa Guts comes into play. He's a he's a commentary YouTuber.
I am a fat commentary YouTuber, yes.
And a TikToker who was the only one who covered this situation. However,
Probably irresponsibly in some cases. Unintentionally irresponsibly, but I could take my fucking licks about how fucking stupid I've been.
if you've watched any of Papa's videos on Daniel, you'd know that he is an avid Larson defender and has
No, I'm not. I'm a 35-year-old man that's not a fucking 15-year-old idiot pretending that he's not one of the managers that stole money from Daniel Larson. You're calling yourself the manager while calling Daniel Larson a pedophile. I'm not saying he's not. I truly have no fucking idea. I know he's a danger and he needs to be taken off the street. But you're sitting here calling him a pedophile. Then why the fuck were you his manager? All this information was available at the time, no? That he was a fucking weird pedophile fucking freak. And yet you're still one of his managers. That's weird. That's very strange. It's very fucking strange that you guys have all this overwhelming evidence that Daniel Larson is a fucking pedophile. And yet you guys are his managers. That's weird. That's very strange to me. Why would you do that? Why would you want to manage a pedophile? And why would you call yourself a manager? None of this makes sense.
Has defended his acts of pedophilia many times.
I've never defended his acts of pedophilia.
In fact, even stating that his at-the-time obsession with Grace VanderWaal...
He still has an obsession, and it's fucking dangerous, because he is schizophrenic and actually thinks he's dating her, and she's received relentless harassment that's had a significantly negative impact on her mental health and her life.
Keep in mind, 17 and 22 age difference between them.
Yeah.
Quote-unquote, wasn't necessarily inappropriate.
This is the girl. She's 17 now. I think he's 21 or 22. I don't know if the age is necessarily inappropriate. Yeah, I probably said that because I don't necessarily think a 4-year age gap of 17-21 is necessarily inappropriate. That sounds like I'm a fucking idiot and didn't know how old he was at the time exactly on the mark. Yeah, sorry. I'm a fucking idiot. I think the 4-year age gaps of 17, I'm not like a huge... 17 to 21. 17 to 13 is definitely fucking disgusting. But like a 17 to 21, I'm not necessarily going to be like outraged by it. 17 to 22, definitely inappropriate. I think that the bigger inappropriateness is, all the fucking mental health issues he has that you guys are trying to like fucking... You guys think it's funny, so you fuck with them, and then you make it worse for people like Grace VanderWaal. I don't know if the age is necessarily inappropriate. Okay. She's 17 now.
And whenever hit with the low...
Sorry, guys. What's so funny about this is like, hey, that was a weird thing to say, Papa God, for sure. But yet you're one of the managers of the pedophile. That's a little strange.
Of definitive proof that his disgusting behavior online actually existed. Of course, Papa God would do mental gymnastics to defend him.
No, I wouldn't. They had access to his account and they were posting on his behalf. And one of the things I said is like, I don't know if the images he was liking was him or if it was these supposed managers liking these images to make him look worse. I don't know. Or maybe it was both. Maybe it's entirely possible that the images some of them were of him, and then maybe some of these managers had a moment where they were like, I want to be well-meaning, and so we're going to set him up to look more like a pedophile, so people will finally think that he's a threat. The problem with that is that you guys continue to quote-unquote manage him through this entire time, stealing money from him, and upgrading his delusions of thinking he could be a superstar.
Saying that it was all the trolls who did it.
And I'm absolutely not fucking built for gymnastics, so.
And not him.
Listen, I'm very highly doubtful that Daniel Larson is a pedophile. It's possible. Pedophilia isn't when you like a young person. Pedophilia is... pedophilia. So, definitional pedophilia from a mental health perspective. And that's the conversation that, I'm generally going to have. We're talking about somebody that's supposed to be in the system. Is somebody who is 16 or older and who has a persistent attraction or has had sex with somebody who is 13 or younger. And there's a 5-year age gap, right? That's technically pedophilia. I mean, Daniel Larson may very well be a pedophile. Here's the thing. My take's pretty consistent. He needs to be institutionalized in some capacity, right? The specifics of whether he is or isn't aren't relevant because he's a threat to society regardless. There seems to be enough information to suggest that he should not be around kids by himself. But what else do you want me to tell you? I don't know. You guys were apparently the managers of this guy, so I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird that you'd want to manage a pedophile. Persistent sexual attraction or obsession with somebody 13 and younger. Yeah, if these are true, yeah. It's interesting that you have these images of Daniel Larson, but you don't have any of the other images where you have. Where are the other images? How come you can potentially prove this one, but you can't show any proof for any other claim you make? If 6 months or more, with that person being 5 years or younger, attraction or obsession with somebody 13 and younger. What happened in the past? I was kind of like a pedo. I don't who is this from? I can't. This might be true. I don't know. Okay. For a period of 6 months or more, with that person being 5 years or younger than you. So yeah. So I gotta say fucking slurs, bro. I just explained it. Okay. What is this? There is a minimum age limit of 13 on Yubo, and anyone under 17 who sets up a profile has to confirm that they have permission of a parent or guardian. 13, 17-year-olds have their own community that is separate from adults. Why are you showing this to me? Considering he's still updated. Oh, was he on the app Yubo? Just curious, when you were 14 and had sex, how long did you last? Just curious, because that would probably be too much for that age. 69 minutes. Wow. Did you pee a lot during... I don't know if this is even real or not. Okay. Dangerous. Again, this guy needs to be taken off the fucking streets. Seriously. Also, can we just acknowledge that? Can we just... I just want to be very clear here. If this message is real, I have no problem admitting Daniel Larson may very well be a fucking pedophile. But if this message is real, what does this message do? This is supposedly Daniel Larson talking to Grace Vanderwall. Oh, interesting. Let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys think this is the real Grace Vanderwall? Or do you think this is a troll account saying that they had sex for 69 minutes? This is just more information of showing that these fucking managers were LARPing as Grace Vanderwall. What are you guys doing? Holy fuck. That's what Grace. How old are you? This is, wait, 10, but I don't act my age. Danny, video chat. We can meet at a park. Okay, so these are messages apparently from Daniel Larson to them, and you have access of these. How come you don't have access to more proof of other things that you're claiming? That doesn't necessarily, this wouldn't indicate pedophilia. Pretty sure when it comes to the Daniel Larson. And also, I've never seen those images, so I don't know. Like, it doesn't prove me wrong. I'm talking like an idiot. But okay. Fans account. I'm talking without information. That's stupid, but what ends up happening is that he's not really running it. And so what happens is a bunch of people start they start liking images of children on TikTok, making his likes public, and doing the same thing on his Pinterest. They grab a hold of his Pinterest. They start liking pictures of like little girls. It's so weird. And here's the thing. That might be a dumb fucking thing that I just said. Half of what I just said might be dumb. Daniel Larson very well may have been in control of his Pinterest account and liking all those things publicly, and he might be a pedophile. And like, that's stupid of me to say it like that. That just sounds dumb. I sound like a fucking idiot there. I can't really defend it. But I know that they had access to his TikTok account. I know that they made his likes public. And so it does bring into question, if you have access to his Cash App, you have access to his TikTok profile, I don't know how much of the information, and you're the one posting there, I don't know how much of the information is valid. You guys, it's convoluted. It's convoluted as fuck.
In his mind, he likes to defend Daniel because of his autism diagnosis, which is 100% important to acknowledge and definitely plays a part, but of course...
Yes, it's a huge part, and his schizophrenia.
Of course, it doesn't make looking up CP or harassing minors online any more okay.
Okay, let's just be absolutely clear about Daniel Larson. Daniel Larson very clearly is not operating at the brain age of fucking whatever age that he is. It doesn't make it okay. It still makes him a potential threat to kids. It makes him a definite threat to Grace Vanderwall and to the rest of society in other ways. But like, when you guys talk about autism, you're like, yeah, my friend Boblax has fucking autism. He dresses up like a girl and jacks off. Okay, that's great. We're talking about people in the system that are clearly violent and have massive delusions that have a negative impact on themselves and people around them. So when you say, well, autism isn't an excuse for this, or it doesn't explain this, like your concept of autism is like probably yourself. It seems like most of these people are like incredibly high functioning autistic that just like struggle to talk to people and have social interactions in schools, and they think that that's what Daniel Larson is. No, Daniel Larson is a threat to fucking society, okay? And not to be an asshole, he also looks autistic. I mean, I don't mean to be fucking rude, but he looks very different. I'm not trying to be that guy. He definitely doesn't look like somebody who has like a little bit of autism, okay? It's this is fucking crazy. All right, I don't even know. Okay, it's just fucking interesting. It's interesting. You guys are really trying to defend yourselves here.
Combotter, a rival troll of Flexburger,
a rival troll of Flexburger. You were just calling Flexburger. Wait, hold on. You just called Flexburger a manager. Now it's a rival troll, insinuating that Flexburger is a troll. Wait, you just said he was a manager. I just don't know why you keep fucking with Daniel when he gets OT even on anymore. You're just trying to get more clout off everything. Bro, fuck off. It's like fucking, it's funny fucking up this guy's life more than it already is. You think I give a fuck if he takes his own life? Yeah, this is pretty fucked up.
Who was jealous of his success in managing Daniel, decided...
Oh, listen to this again.
Okay, Combotter, a rival troll of Flexburger, who was jealous of his success in managing Daniel,
I'll listen to it again.
But of course, it doesn't make looking up CP or harassing minors online any more okay. Combotter, a rival troll of
Flexburger, insinuating Flexburger is a troll,
who is jealous of his success in managing Daniel,
is jealous in the success that Flexburger has managing Daniel. You fucking idiot. What you just said here was that this person Flexburger that you're positioning as this fucking very important this manager who apparently likes managing pedophiles is a troll, and a rival troll is jealous of his influence. This video is a massive self-report. What are you doing? You look like an idiot.
decided to send Papa a Twitter DM further reiterating that it was all Flex's fault and his master plan to make Daniel homeless. Yeah,
Okay, maybe it was. Oh, maybe it was a different troll. Okay, so you know what, guys? I'm sorry, Flexburger. If you weren't the main troll and it was actually a different troll, but this video communicates that you are a troll nonetheless, and you are part of the problem. I'm so sorry. Maybe I didn't get all the specifics correct. I don't know.
right, dude. He also told Papa Gut that his managers had access to all of Daniel's financial information, which just absolutely was not even true in the slightest. Like,
Yeah, that's bullshit. You guys had access to his information. Get the fuck out of here. Why was it called? It was called Daniel and Grace. You think that you think I'm gonna believe that you didn't have access? You guys didn't have access to it? Get the fuck out of here. Why would it be End to Grace unless? Oh yeah, because I forgot there was another person. There was a girl that was like actively part of the trolling campaign of Daniel Larson. I think I still have like videos of them sitting on my phone somewhere, where they were like actively trolling Daniel, and she was pretending to be Grace, and they were like, "We're gonna tell Grace if you don't do this thing for us, Daniel." Get the fuck out of here, you fucking weirdos.
that's just straight up incorrect.
But there's a lot more. It's just incorrect, guys. I have all behind the scenes information about Daniel Larson and Flexburger, but I will not be showing a screenshot. Just saying Papa Gut is wrong, and then we're just going to take your word for it. Information here, then people know. And this is stuff I just found out yesterday after I got a wave of people reach out to me after they found out that he went to LA. And the information is what a bad guy. Pretty fucking intense. Pretty intense. So first and foremost, my understanding is that there are two people. Their online moniker is Flexburger and Jay. Whoa. Said that with a hard R. That are Daniel Larson's managers. And apparently, they have access to Daniel Larson's personal information and financial information so that he doesn't get any money. You guys, just to be clear, you guys are showing us screenshots from Daniel Larson's perspective, which means that what I'm saying is validated by your own video, that you have access to Daniel Larson's own text messages. You're showing it from his perspective. And you think it's so wild for us to believe that you guys had access to his accounts, especially since there are watermarks on that Daniel Larson account for no reason whatsoever. I don't really understand why there would be watermarks there. Just a lot of these things just don't make any sense. I don't know. From anything. But then they probably also get to, damn, I got the coughing tick like fucking Ethan Klein. Take the creator fund money and funnel it into whatever account that they want to do. It's pretty fucked up. This is not true, guys. How it even goes as far as the images of him liking young girls. The narrative isn't entirely accurate.
Combotter, as well as his friend.
Wait, why did you stop playing it? If I said it's an narrative, wait. Why would you stop playing when I said the narrative isn't entire? Dude, what a self-report of him liking young. It's pretty fucked up. How it even goes as far as the images of him liking young girls. The narrative isn't entirely accurate.
Combotter.
Oh, dude, why would you leave that in the video? Do you know how bad that makes you look? That makes it look like you're taking me out of context before when I had like an incorrect assessment of what was going on. If I'm saying it's not entirely accurate, what I'm saying is that, and this is probably what I said in the video, is what I'm saying now, I don't know how much of it is them managing his accounts and how much of it is actually Daniel Larson. You should have cut that part out, man. If you had just not added that, it wouldn't have been a self-report. That information makes you look bad. It makes it look like you're taking me out of context intentionally to push a particular narrative. You realize, like, you have to realize that, no? It makes you look bad.
As well as his friend Lil Sid, were always trying to steal Daniel from the Party House Records group, messaging him and pretending to be his disability services, as well as other people. At the time of this, Combotter was just a 13-year-old, toxic, edgy little Discordian and avid XXXTentacion fan, often pretty rude to people and threatening to DDoS anyone who called him out for his behavior.
You guys said that he was a fellow troll. I don't really. What are you trying to say here?
Combotter's group.
You guys are saying that you guys are saying he's a fellow troll.
Was
want to suck my something for V-Bucks? You deserve to get brutally blank and abused. You're just asking for. So you guys are hanging out in the same circle as this guy? Oh, okay.
Pretty much never successful in getting Daniel to actually side with them. Papa would take this one singular Twitter DM with absolutely zero proof to back
If you screenshot this shit one more time, I'll delete the chats and DDoS your ass. Okay.
things up and ran with it, pretending that everything that was said was true.
Okay, you're confirming that everything that I said was true. You realize this, right?
Essentially making the backlash towards Flexburger at an all-time high after this video came out.
Well, you called him a troll yourself, so look at how ugly that thumbnail is, though. Yeah, so very clearly, something very fucked up is going on. There seems to be a myriad of people trolling the shit out of Daniel Larson. They have access to his personal information, and they encouraged him to go to California. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't know if Oakland is in fucking California. I imagine Oakland's in California. It's just like, yeah, it is. It's just not. He's not quite at LA yet. Okay. It's What is that supposed to do? Because I don't know every area in California. It's really fucked up. And what I'm going to tell you right now is that it needs to stop. As of right now, whoever it was, I'm assuming it's the managers. It's so funny that all these people are anonymous. These managers, these trolls are anonymous, yet they still feel the need to defend themselves. Why do you think that is? Unless they want to continue to troll Daniel Larson. Oh, okay. Why wouldn't you just give it up and move on? What's your special attachment? You've already admitted that you guys are trolls in this video. Flexburger and Jay have trolled Daniel Larson into moving across the country to California. What I will tell you is that what you're doing is highly... I saw boobs there. Incredible. Larson into moving across the country to California. What I... Gooning activated. What I will tell you is that what you're doing is highly illegal, and you're going to get caught. You need to encourage Daniel to go back home. Oh, maybe they're upset that they're like, we didn't get caught. Let's say something about it. Home. Because I will find out who you are, and I will report you. Yep, Liam Neeson and me are on the case, guys. Don't worry.
Flex offered to speak and give his side of the story to Papa Gut via Twitch chat, but Papa Gut didn't seem to give him a chance. Going on...
I don't remember that, but why would I give a troll a chance to say his side of the story and lie, like you guys are doing in this video?
To rant how horrible of a person he was and would end up banning him. Afterwards, Flexburger would try to explain things in Papa Gut's Discord server, but was instantly pulled the same...
Papa Gut banned me from chat. The truth is being silenced, and there's absolutely nothing I could do about it. Okay. I love this. I love this. Oh, guys, please look at this.
Flexburger would try to explain things in Papa Gut's Discord server.
So Flexburger would try to explain things in Papa Gut's Discord server. So what we're seeing on the screen, Papa Gut banned me from chat. The truth is being silenced, and there's absolutely nothing I could do about it. Look at his PFP. You guys might not be able to see it because it's so small. You guys might not be able to. Let me maximize this for you. It's a disheveled picture of Daniel Larson. Why else do people? Why would you have a disheveled looking picture of Daniel Larson? Who else does that? Oh, it's the trolls. The trolls. They love. That's what they do. They use disheveled pictures of Daniel Larson as their profile pictures. Holy fuck! What a normal person. What a normal guy. But just a normal dude. The truth will be silenced. By the way, here's a picture of Daniel Larson looking fucked up. What is this?
But holy shit! Told the same thing by all.
Yeah, obviously I'm not going to give you a chance to talk. Because this is probably Flexburger because you guys are fucking deranged.
His fans there, and of course, Flexburger was also banned. Fast forwarding to the next day, after staying up into the morning hours and catching a couple hours of sleep maximum in that stall, he decided to go get breakfast. While Daniel thought it was a free complimentary breakfast, like most hotels, that of course...
Most hotels? That's not true at all. That's most hotels. Okay, I don't care. This doesn't matter. Just, you're a kid. You don't know anything you're saying.
It wasn't the case. It was actually just a normal breakfast restaurant attached to the hotel. The same kind that, of course, you would have to pay for. Seemingly very hungry, he ordered a lot of food for himself, which amounted to $20. Of course, $20 that he didn't have. Out of desperation...
Well, it's a good thing that you guys all have access to his Daniel Larson, Grace Vanderwall thing.
He would go back to begging for Cash App donations. It was slightly successful, as he gained around $12, but still not enough for the bill.
Wow, that's so sad. It sucks that you guys took the other half of that.
After waiting there for an hour or so, not being able to pay, the cops were called and they showed up.
Yeah.
While management thought that...
You know what's so funny? There was a whole Olive Garden incident, and in the Olive Garden incident, a bunch of trolls were pretending to be Grace Vanderwall and her team, and they were going to meet up with Daniel Larson, and they were going to hang out. And somehow, them encouraging the delusion that Daniel Larson is dating Grace Vanderwall, apparently that's not relevant to anything. Apparently that doesn't. Apparently somehow that doesn't make Grace Vanderwall unsafe. It's incredible stuff.
That this would be the end of the Oakland arc, assuming that he would just get arrested. You can always count on his plot armor to get him through any scenario. The cops ended up letting him go, but nonetheless they got pretty mad at Daniel.
Well, yeah, because from what you said, all he did was have food and he has a disability. So like, what are they supposed to do there?
Which resulted in him getting decently scared. Of course, old Danny wasn't really used to run-ins with the police like this. Thinking that the cops were after him only added to his paranoia, and at this point...
You realize just the idea that you guys know so much about his life is concerning, right? Like, as you're sitting here, you know, talking in here, you apparently like have a detailed insight on Daniel Larson's life. Like, that's very strange, unhinged stuff. People who have explicit interests in lolcows like this are very strange people. They are very strange, very obsessed, very lonely people. It's very weird. You're like, hey guys, here's how I was actually a manager and not a troll. But actually I was a troll, but I was actually one of the good trolls, I guess. And by the way, it's totally not weird that I know everything I supposedly know, even though these are obviously dishonest framings. everything about Daniel Larson's life, you realize it makes you look really weird, right? It makes you look like you're an obsessed little kid. I know that you are part of a group of a bunch of other like young people that just like relentlessly troll and harass people with fucking disabilities online and make their actions worse than they already are on their own. But like that's not normal. That's very strange behavior, and you probably get beat up and bullied in school because like you're very like, just completely socially destroyed. It's strange behavior, man.
It was a full-blown manic episode after getting kicked out of the hotel and being back onto the streets. While wandering around, management would get Daniel to make another TikTok.
And it's also so funny that like what I want is Daniel Larson to be institutionalized and not make content anymore. These guys don't want that because they make money off of Daniel Larson acting fucking crazy. That's what they want. So they're like, Papa got such a bad guy. He's such a bad guy because he'll say dumb shit sometimes. But I want him to be taken off the streets and like arrested and institutionalized. You guys are desperate for him to stay around so you have content.
Stating that the reason he left is because he willingly quit his disability services. However, this still wouldn't really change anyone's minds.
This message is for all the people who are wondering. My disability services dropped me, so I'm currently homeless, and I have moved to LA.
By now, Daniel had already been in and out of a couple of hotel lobbies to charge his phone, getting kicked out of each. It was around 4 p.m. on the second day of his—
I remember he like went on somebody's like fucking porch and he fucking like called the guy the N-word when he was charging his phone on the guy's porch.
Trip to Oakland, back to roaming the streets when Daniel would have a panic attack and completely lose it.
I wonder how hard these trolls laughed when Daniel Larson had a fucking panic attack.
I'm fucking done for.
Screaming, crying, throwing his phone, and hitting himself all in the middle of a random industrial zone along a highway in—
By the way, this is definitely the indicator of somebody that's very mentally stable, having a meltdown and smacking and hitting themselves over and over again. For sure, guys.
He complained that he was severely dehydrated, which was genuinely the truth. Attempting to help out, Flex suggested that he go to a Starbucks a couple blocks away because they serve free water there. But as expected, Daniel had absolutely zero sense of navigation as well as zero clue how to use—
Flexburger was just trying to be a nice guy. Flexburger, the in this video admitted troll, the admitted troll Flexburger was trying to help out Daniel Larson to be a nice guy. I genuinely don't think that you guys care about Daniel Larson, which is fine. I don't think most people should care about him. Well, but okay, actually that's not true. You guys care way too much about Daniel Larson in the most toxic way. I have decided to disengage from the situation for the most part. I'm watching this because it's like a weak hit piece against me. Because it's not productive and like the shit is fucked and there's really nothing that can be done. But you guys care about him a lot because you guys love farming him for content. While like morally chastising other people who have normal takes on the situation. But you guys are like really happy that he's out and he's about and he's a threat to society because you make your content is like exclusively about lolcows. Your fucking name of your channel is Larson Freak Raw. You guys are obsessed with Daniel Larson and you really want him to stay around. You really want him to stay around, man. That's what your whole platform is about, is keeping this threat to society going so that you can make more content. That's what you want to do.
Use Google Maps. The freakout continued, as well as constant suicidal threats that he would jump off the side of the highway and end his own life. While trying everything they could do over phone calls to help calm him down, nothing seemed to work. His managers had seen tons of freakouts from Daniel, but this time he seemed a lot more on edge than usual.
Wow, I wonder why. Okay, again, you're calling the managers of what? The pedophile managers. The fucking pedophile managers. Why? What the hell is happening?
Given the worst freakout of his life was at one point taking place on top of a tall freeway ramp, this was extremely disturbing. Although there was sadly no video taken of it, an Oakland resident driving by who spotted Daniel made a post regarding his concerning behavior to the subreddit. I drove past what looked extremely disturbing. Although there was sadly no video taken of it, an Oakland resident driving by who spotted Daniel made a post regarding his concerning behavior to the subreddit. I drove past what looks to be like Daniel freaking out and throwing stuff. If anyone in the Oakland area can take him in, that'd be great. Please help. I saw him on 8th and Harrison yelling and throwing his backpack on the sidewalk. I would not be surprised if he's been arrested by now. After an hour or two of constant meltdowns alongside the road, Daniel threw his phone for a final time.
Well, it's so sad that we didn't get this recorded, guys, because they would have thought it was funny, I imagine.
And the phone call line ended.
Oh.
Worried that Daniel may have broken his phone, or even worse, taken his own life, no one on management could get a hold of the man who was constantly—
Management. You guys don't care if he— the only reason that you would care if he dies is because you guys can't milk him for content anymore. What are you talking about?
Checking his phone. This was by far the most stressful 24 hours of the Party House Records employee's career. If
what do I do with this information? This was what?
Daniel phone. This was by far the most stressful 24 hours of the Party House Records employee's career.
The Party House Record employees? Was that an LLC? What? That's so strange. What a strange way to talk about yourself. You realize that throughout this entire video so far, you've shown us that you've admitted that you're probably one of these managers. You've admitted that you're part of a troll group that targeted at Daniel Larson. That the most toxic troll, in your words, was jealous that you guys had such an impact on Daniel, and now you're part of Party House Records, conveniently leaving out when they trolled him into getting naked on his TikTok live or whatever, and then also doing some I forget exactly what it was, but making him have some weird meltdown speech somewhere in California, I think it was. You guys are fucking 15 years old. This is so weird. This guy's definitely one of the fucking the managers. Oh my god.
If Daniel dies, not only would it be a tragedy, but everyone else who's involved would have their lives changed forever.
Why? Why would you have your life changed forever? Oh, because you realize that you would have a large part to play in the fact that he took his life? Is that what changed about your life?
Regardless of their true intentions or not.
True intentions.
This wasn't some silly little prank that they were pulling. This was Daniel facing the real-world consequences of running far away across the country on his own.
And you guys supporting him in doing so, yeah.
Worried beyond belief, around the same time the sun started to set, the managers would be relieved to find out that Daniel was, in fact, still alive. He'd called them from, you guessed it, another hotel lobby, and said that his phone had died.
The managers, Mr. Manager.
However, Daniel was still in a state of panic while charging his phone. This night was no different from the previous one, still having nowhere to stay. The management group was begging Daniel to go to the nearby homeless shelter, but like every other time, he refused.
Oh, wow, you guys are so nice. You guys are so nice to fucking troll him into fucking leaving his services and then telling him to go and then telling him to go. And go to the homeless shelter. Such a good guys.
And after getting a full charge on his phone, he was once again back on the streets.
Okay.
By now, it was 8 or 9 p.m. and it was fully dark out. Walking around Oakland, continuing his same erratic antics as earlier, and still threatening to end his own life, it was clear that Daniel needed help immediately. That's where Jay stepped in. As you may have heard in Papa's video mentioning his name, Jay was Flexberger's partner in crime. The other two members of Party House, Sam and Eli,
okay, so that's true. Okay, so I got that right?
Mentioning his name, help immediately. That's where Jay stepped in. As you may have heard in Papa's video mentioning his name, Jay was Flexberger's partner in crime. The other
Jay was Flex. I don't remember who Jay is, but okay.
two members of Party House, Sam and Eli, or
Flex, Jay, Sam, and Eli. Okay. I wonder how true that even is. I wonder how true it even is that these people are all the part of the managers, because this whole video is definitely very, very desperate to try to change the narrative around whatever was going on.
Or as Daniel pronounced, Ellie, would also help out texting Daniel, keeping him occupied from time to time. Over a Discord call trying to figure out what to do, they landed on the idea of calling the police to get Daniel any sort of help. Over the phone with the Alameda Police Department, he gave the details of a nearby Mexican restaurant that Daniel said he was at. Attempting to explain to the 911 operator who Daniel was in relation to Jay was a bit of a challenge, to say the least.
Yeah, because you guys are trolling him. Why would it be a challenge? You keep calling yourself managers. Isn't that a completely reasonable thing to be? See, this is what I'm talking about. You go through this video. They keep calling themselves managers of Daniel Larson. But then you get to this point where it's like, yeah, Jay, one of the managers of Party House Fuckface Records, had a really hard time explaining to the police what his role was with Daniel Larson. Well, why would that be? You keep calling them managers as if they had a valid position in Daniel Larson's life. Well, that's strange. Why would it be hard to explain? Oh, because you're fucking stupid, and you know that you're wrong, and you're an idiot. This whole video is you being an idiot. I don't understand. Please, finish your mental development before going online again.
He wasn't a friend that he knew in person, nor was he a family member. And as Daniel...
So what was he? He was a manager. What happened? I thought the manager was a good, serious position. Mr. Manager, what happened?
He used to stay in one location. Of course, when police arrived, he was nowhere to be found.
Oh, God. Sorry, so what did you guys end up telling the police on what your position was with them? Officer, yeah, I'm one of the weird trolls that made Daniel Larson. Hey, officer, wait, who are you? Yeah, officer, I'm one of the weird trolls that manages a pedophile on TikTok. Yeah, we do that. That's what we do. We manage, we're 15, by the way. We manage a pedophile on TikTok. That's and we troll him into doing weird shit. Oh, that's safe. That's a really safe thing that you guys are doing. Okay.
Updating a friend via Discord messages, Flex sent, "We called 911 on him. They're searching for him. Holy
Oh god, there's Flexburger with his very serious picture of Daniel Larson looking disheveled, and then his partner in crime, a cat face. Holy shit, I just saw this now. I appreciate that you're able to show some screenshots with that when you think it serves the purpose of proving you correct.
shit, I just saw this now. Okay, so he's gonna be fine? No, prob not. IDK yet. You guys should have not stretched contact this far and cut ties with Daniel when you had the chance.
Oh my god, you're showing us that you guys are part of the problem. Wait, what's the response to that?
Yet.
You guys should not have stretched it this far and cut ties with Daniel when you had the chance. Again, this is like the 10th time in this video that you are showing us that like what they were doing was toxic and incorrect. You guys should not have stretched it this far. What exactly did you stretch this far? Oh yeah, pretending to be managers of Party House Records. Okay.
You guys should have not stretched contact this far and cut ties with Daniel when you had the chance. It was getting serious.
Whoa. Was it? You didn't think it was serious when you guys trolled him out of being... At this point, I'm like convinced that this is a manager. You didn't think it was serious when you guys trolled him out of being... when you guys trolled him out of living in this group home setting?
You could hear Daniel again throwing his phone and hitting himself in the background, claiming that he was now bloodied up. Out of complete desperation, around 30 minutes later, Jay called the cops again. The operator said they didn't find him near the Mexican restaurant, but would begin searching the highway he was now walking across. Staying up all night and a few 911 calls later, the police had no luck in locating Daniel as he was constantly moving from the location that the police were given. By almost midnight, management had one final idea in mind before they called it quits. They were teenagers across the country doing this all over the phone.
Holy fuck, there it is. There it is. Self-report number fucking 27. Okay. Guys, the super serious teenage managers that criticized someone else for being 13 when they were very clearly also 13 years old. They were bad. These were the super serious managers of Party House Records, managing Daniel Larson and his accounts and having access to Daniel Larson's Cash App. You guys are self-reporting in this entire video. You look stupid. What is happening? This video is really bad for you. Like, you look really, like, unironically, you guys are fucking kids. All right? In a way that Daniel Larson also might want to fuck kids, which I don't know. But he is a threat to society. We can agree on that. And I think what you seriously need to do is this needs to be the moment in your life where you realize you are not as smart as you think you are. You are very, very, very stupid. And this whole video is a constant self-report over and over and over and over again. It's very self-report that you are so attached to Daniel Larson and that you are a big part of the reason why he is such a threat to society. And I think it's time that you guys get off the internet and focus on school and go do something productive. Go towards a trade job or something. Get a life. Get some friends offline. Stop existing in this weird online sphere of fucking freak shit where you obsess over lolcow. Like, that's a very weird hobby. Have you ever told people in the real world what your hobby is to chronologue the lives of people with significant mental health issues? That's a weird thing for you to do. You realize that, right? Like, that is not a normal thing for you to do. That is strange. And you have a small Daniel Larson YouTube channel that centralizes around obsessing about a deranged, I mean, I don't want to be super insensitive, but a fucking person with significant mental health issues that needs to be institutionalized. And that's what you want the next 40 years of your life to be. That's not something that you probably want to do. I think it's time for you to disconnect. Daniel Larson's a lost cause. There's nothing that we could do. You guys have had your negative impact. I've probably had my own negative impact. Let's not pretend that I've been perfect. The difference is I'm not trying to be a negative impact, but you guys clearly are. I think it's time for you to just be like, oh, we had a really bad impact on this guy's life and other people's lives like Grace Vanderwall, and I think you guys need to move on and stop obsessing about this guy who's very clearly capable of hurting himself and other people especially. You have to stop. Like, this is fucking crazy. This whole video is this unhinged, childish self-report. I don't know who this was for. You're trying to make this weird reframing. Every word that you say makes you look worse. This video is bad. It's just a bad video. It's stupid. And it shows that you guys are very attached.
It was completely out of their control. But if they didn't step in to help, this would all be their fault.
It already is. But why would it be your fault?
Told Daniel to walk to the airport and sleep there, which was well over a 2-hour walk from where he was at, and not to mention, Daniel had zero sense of direction.
There's another report right after the rant. Why would it be all your fault unless that's again a light admittance that you had more to do with this situation than you're letting on? Over and over and over.
But somehow,
and over
out of a complete miracle, during the early morning hours, he made it to the airport and slept on some random chair while charging his phone. From there, Jay's smart thinking led him to call airport security, where he gave a description of Daniel and both his mental and physical health crises. Daniel's rather odd characteristics luckily made it easy for officials to spot him. Officers would find him and end up doing the...
It's interesting because, like, at this point, you're showing some, like, level of empathy for this guy, but then, like, you're giving me shit for showing a level of empathy for this guy. It's kind of strange.
Perfect thing. Taking him to the John George Psychiatric Hospital, which Party House only found out he was there the next morning due to the fact that they had his location services on. They actually took Daniel's phone, but management was still able to make contact with him through calling the clinic and requesting to call a family member.
Epic management.
Larson was finally at ease. If management didn't have him go to the airport and make that call, who knows where he would have ended up.
The managers are such good people, guys. They directed Daniel to go to the airport. They're really good guys. They're actually not an issue or a threat to society. Well, not society. They're a threat to Daniel Larson and some people in society. They're actually the good guys. If they hadn't done the brave thing of telling Daniel Larson to go to the airport after they relentlessly trolled the guy, where the fuck would we be now? What would happen? Also, why the airport? Why not like a more local train station or a police department or a hospital? So there's one of two things. Either you're a really stupid kid, which is definitely probably what it is, or you guys sent him to the airport for some other weird reason that I just could not even explain to you. But like, why the fucking airport? You're telling me that there was no police department or fire department or hospital or anything closer than the fucking airport that was a 2-hour walk. Okay. Yeah. What if he... What? Okay. That makes a lot of sense to me, yeah.
He was quite literally headed towards the mountains before heading to the airport. While Daniel had about a week to stay there before they made the patients leave, it was still technically only a temporary solution to this major problem.
What's the major problem? That you guys trolled him out of his disability services?
And despite literally saving the day, the Larsonians were not having it with...
They saved the day, guys! They fucking saved the day! They saved the day! They're good guys! They saved the day! They saved the day, guys. The 15-year-old managers who trolled Daniel Larson into leaving his disability services and relentlessly harassing Grace Vanderwall as they show images of them posing as Grace Vanderwall to rile him up have saved the fucking day, guys. They did it. They're the day savers, baby. They're the day savers.
With management.
Oh, yeah.
Flex posted a statement to his YouTube stating the following. Hey everyone, I'm hopping back on here to explain to everyone the current situation of what's going on because I know a lot-
The current situation. Okay. Probably one of the most prolific Daniel Larson memes is saying, this is the current situation. We love the troll.
A lot of people are concerned. A few days ago, Daniel snuck on a train to go to California.
Which they encourage him to do.
Obviously, he isn't capable of living on his own.
Wait, why? Wait a minute. Wait, why isn't he capable of living on his own? This is the problem with these weird, like, Daniel Larson-obsessed people, is that they'll give me shit for saying stuff like, hey, Daniel Larson is a fucking threat and belongs in, like, some group home and off the street. And then they'll say, well, his autism isn't an excuse for his really bad behavior. And then they'll say, but he's not capable of living on his own. Why isn't he capable of living on his own? Unless it's because of his, like, his mental health problems. It's weird how obsessed you are with making me disagreeing with me when like you agree with me. This is another self-report. You agree with me. Okay.
So this was bound to happen. He let the people that
it was bound to happen
have his phone number know what he was doing.
Wait, and also he's one of the managers. So if you know he's not capable of living on his own, then why are you trying to manage him? None of these things make sense.
They said, no, Daniel, you can't do that. You have no money. but it was too late and he had already snuck onto the train.
Wow, that's probably
I
so
called
true.
Daniel
dude.
yesterday and he told me that he was starving and hungry, feeling mentally drained and depressed.
That's crazy.
I asked if he would call 911 on himself to get help, but he refused to do so. Luckily, we were able to find out that he made it to the Oakland airport, so we contacted law enforcement and they were able to...
Wait, what? You found out that he made it to the Oakland airport? Didn't you just say that you guys encouraged him to go to the Oakland airport? That was a 2-hour walk? Why did that narrative change so quickly? Why did that change in a minute?
Track him down and put him in a mental hospital, where he's able to stay and get help. I'm glad we were able to do the best we could and get him help.
Why do you want him to get help? You keep saying that he's a pedophile. That's beyond redemption. Why would you want somebody like that to get help? None of your own logic makes any sense here. None of your own logic makes any sense. That you guys would say Daniel Larson is a pedophile. And again, he might be. He's a threat to society. That's what I know. But then you're his manager at Party House Records. And also, you really want him to get help because, you know, you don't want him to be hurt. And yeah, by the way, we acknowledge that he's so mentally fucked that he shouldn't be living on his own. You're so inconsistent with your shit. You don't realize this? Like, do you not realize this? Do you not realize that this is admittance that you are like very involved in Daniel Larson's life in like a weird way? Like, unironically, like, what if like authorities saw this video or something? What I'm not even kidding. What if one day somebody in Daniel's life, like Bob or something, decides to smarten up and they decide to go through all the weird online obsession and they find you guys admitting that you have some kind of relation to Daniel and like the negative things he did. Like, all it takes is Daniel Larson. See, this is the problem, is that like Daniel Larson is such a lost cause now. And all it takes is for him to do something really bad and really violent. And then what happens next is they go and they try to be like, okay, who is part of the responsibility for this? Like, what happens then? What happens if you guys are like fucking in your 20s trying to live productive lives and then like somebody decides to go and start a case against you and it ruins your entire life because you wanted to troll some fucking like a person with a disability? It's you guys really don't think. You guys are fucking so stupid. It's fucking crazy, man.
ASAP.
It's just crazy, man. It's fucking crazy.
Because who knows what would have happened if we weren't there to reach out. As for what people
You guys sent them there, so.
are saying online, the statements about Flexburger forced him to do this are not true at all. I'm not sure who
I'm definitely gonna take the word of Flexburger, right?
started that, but I just know it's not true.
He just knows, guys.
He wanted to go to California because supposedly he quit his services and his dad lives in the state. Papa Gut made a video stating that
Dude, again, this is the problem. I'm not sure who started it, but I just know it's not true. He wanted to go to California because supposedly he quit his services. Okay. Quick question for you guys. Why did Daniel Larson want to go to California? I'll answer the questions too. Because Daniel Larson had a delusion that he was he could be famous. Who were Daniel Larson's managers? And what were they managing? Were they managing his foot fungus? I don't know about that. Were they managing his teeth? Definitely not, because you've seen them. Were they managing this fantasy idea that he could be a famous singer? Oh, wait, that's it. Yeah, Daniel just wanted to go to California. We don't even really know why. By the way, we are the managers of Party House Records and we're 15 years old. But we have no idea why he would want to go there. By the way, we're his managers, and we want to encourage this delusion that he can be a famous singer. It's just, this video self-reports every 5 seconds. You realize, like, right, we have to understand this. This video self-reports constantly. Guys, we don't even know why Daniel would go to California. It's not like California is like the fucking, capital, is like the influencer capital of the world. He just wanted to go. We had nothing to do with it, by the way. We were just his managers. We were managing, I don't know. I don't know. What were we managing? Oh, I don't even know.
that I was the one who forced him to do all this,
I don't even
which
know.
hurts because this isn't the case at all, and it's just throwing my name around disparagingly.
Okay.
If you can actually find proof that I was the one who caused this, I'd like to see it. We went through hell and back yesterday, but as of right now, he's safe.
Probably went through hell and back as you realized you almost got this guy killed.
I'm glad I can update you guys and tell you what really happened, so if anyone has any questions, feel free to PM me. At the end of the day, if
Yeah, could you guys want to manage me so I could be a famous singer as well?
Daniel chooses to run away from home, sneak onto a train, and Amtrak security does nothing about it, And his disability service also does
Well, I mean, the Amtrak's gonna be like, oh, a homeless guy's here. We don't want to deal with it.
nothing. There's not much his managers can do.
What are you managing?
No one encouraged this. But of
Okay,
course,
you-
no one really believed this story. Jay
Because it sounds very stupid. That's why nobody believes this story. Because it sounds dumb. It doesn't make sense.
would end up getting pictures of him from his family's Facebook where he was younger, leaked, and posted onto TikTok, amassing thousands of likes. This was posted by Sabbath, aka Samantha, a manager who would also spend a few months trolling Daniel
Oh, it's a new one.
on her own.
Oh my god, dude, you guys can't go a minute without self-reporting. So Sabbath was apparently another manager, but she also would spend time on her own trolling Daniel Larson. Every time you guys call yourselves managers and then trolls, what you're doing is you're equating being a manager to being a troll, and you're just showing that you were a much more influential than you want to pretend that you were. But good job, guys. You're doing a great job. I wonder if the other managers knew that this guy, which is clearly one of them, made this video that makes him look super stupid and bad. I wonder if they knew.
Big Balls was Jay's username. after
Yes,
changing
that's probably, by the way, that's the CEO of Party House Records, Big Balls. Very. I guess it's not that crazy. What was the name of the fucking guy that did the one of the people in Doge? Wasn't it like Big Balls? Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Well, at least he was successful in the Dogecoin, whatever the fuck thing now, in the department of whatever, finding fraud, waste, and abuse, guys. We got it.
Changing it due to backlash from the whole incident. Who's that? Sabbath asked, showcasing the picture that she found of Jay. Jay would end up replying, "It was me 4 years ago. I'd like to explain myself." Okay, yes? Do you genuinely think I made him go to fucking California and control his Cash App? I'm not that dumb. Literally,
Okay.
the worst I've done was get funny happy birthday videos, and now I'm being slandered all over the internet. For what? Sabbath
Who the fuck is Big Balls, though?
reached out to a fellow older and wiser user on Discord whose
Named Rat, of course.
online moniker was Rat,
Yes, older and wiser. His name is Rat. I'm assuming, is this Rat?
who was in touch with both Flex and Sabbath respectively.
Yes, was
But
older and wiser. Instead of 15, he was the old age of 15 and a half.
never participated in any trolling themselves. They decided to weigh in on the situation. We can't be doxing Jay or Flex. They're kids. If we don't want Daniel's life ruined, then we certainly don't want Jay or Flex's. It's hard to even put into words the rampant jealousy that the wannabe managers had for Party House Records.
Okay.
It was absolutely ruthless 24/7. These teenagers genuinely spent every single day of their summer attempting to bring Daniel over to their little Discord group. They weren't doxing people because
So now what we're hearing is that there was a manager, a troll manager civil war. Okay, this is incredible.
they were mad at anybody's safety being risked. It was purely out of spite. Party House Records had been friends with Daniel for a long time and primarily enjoyed just making music and funny TikToks with him.
Okay.
While in the psychiatric hospital for a week, Daniel would occasionally get his phone back for short periods of time with the ability to reach out to his caretakers.
Okay.
In his words, begging for a plane ticket back home. As they didn't have the couple $100s to just drop on Daniel for a ticket, likely still needing money for all of the unpaid property damage that he had caused, he would remain texting them every single day requesting one, still getting denied each time. Nearing the end of his stay, he was able to talk to Bob and
Why do you know this? It's so weird that you guys would know any of this information if it's even true.
finally convinced him last minute to purchase one. Bob clutched up and provided Daniel with a ticket back home to Denver. Employees at the facility were nice enough to drive him to the airport, believe it or not. And while waiting in his terminal, a fan spotted Daniel waiting for the flight and even recorded him.
Okay.
You can see just how
What does this show us?
drained Daniel was from the entire situation.
Yeah, that you guys caused. Guys, we were the nice trolls.
A few hours later, Danny would eventually arrive back in the Centennial state of Colorado, where Bob had picked him up at the Denver airport. It was safe to say that for that time period at least, Daniel had learned his lesson on running away from home and would continue living in housing services for another full year. If everything didn't come together perfectly, like those with management and Bob looking out for him,
They're the good guys. Guys. By the way, I just need to reiterate that the middle of the video was chastising me for questioning how authentic the information was about Daniel being a pedophile, and actually giving me shit for being like, he might be one, but I'm not 100% sure because other people have access to his accounts. But by the end of the video, they're the heroes that saved the pedophile. Wow, that's so beautiful. Your own logic doesn't make any sense. This video is thrashing around for no reason. Nobody even knows who the fuck you guys are or cares. So I don't know why you're thrashing around so much and like in this desperate attempt to make yourselves look better. Nobody cares about you or knows who you are, which might be the problem because your fucking family isn't looking after you.
He even knows what would have happened. It was also safe to say that this was the final nail in the coffin for Party House Records, resulting in the most legendary and viral management group disbanding.
The legendary and viral. Incredible.
After returning home safely, Daniel would spam Papa Gut's comment section with a bunch of rambling, as well as reiterating that it was his decision to take the trip, and he ran his own Cash App. After returning home safely.
What video is this from? These are very well articulated, guys. So just to be clear, I don't know if this is him or not. I don't know what video this is, but I'm pretty sure a long time ago, every time I would see Daniel Larson in my chat and like under my comments, I would almost instantaneously hide him from the channel. Now I don't know how it works. You might still see your own messages, but what this shows to me is that like you guys were saying stuff and then immediately screenshotting it or something. I don't really know. Or this is just yourself or something. I don't know. Okay. I do like the thumbs up are the number of managers though. On the archive page? Oh, maybe that's where I don't know. Okay.
Home safely, Daniel would spam Papa Gut's comment section with a bunch of rambling, as well as reiterating that it was his decision to take the trip.
Hey guys, we don't think that Daniel Larson has the capability of living on his own because he's so mentally unwell. By the way, you should listen to everything Daniel says. He's definitely in the right. Not for nothing. I wouldn't even doubt if Daniel believed this. Why? Because he's schizophrenic and he's very easy to manipulate. They're manipulating a person that's easy to manipulate. It's 15-year-old boys manipulated Daniel Larson, who has the mentality of somebody probably not even at that age.
And he ran his own Cash App.
Okay.
He even made videos saying so.
Gotcha.
I want to make this very clear that it was my decision to go to Oakland. It was not the label. It was all my decision.
The label, guys. The label for what?
And
oh, yeah, for the pushing the delusion that Daniel Larson could be some kind of a musician.
all the videos, all the accounts, including my Cash App, I have full access to.
Thank you, Mr. President. We already know by reading the comments that this is not true.
To no surprise, Papa Gut
To no surprise, Papa Gut isn't fucking stupid. At least not that stupid.
did not believe this and assumes that it was his managers hacking his account and typing out these odd sentences.
That might be true because they're all this guy says we need to get reppins when he talks. I don't know that I don't know that I believe that Daniel Larson was the one typing these things. Okay. That's an account controlled by Flexburger. That was him just upset. Now, here's something interesting to note. As you read these, you'll notice that a lot of them are pretty well articulated. Yeah, Daniel Larson is not. It looks like somebody typed out the message. Now, that sounds like a weird thing to say. Not really. It sounds perfectly logical. But if you look at Daniel Larson's old TikToks, he couldn't construct a sentence for his life. He would spell almost every word incorrectly. It was terrible. And all of a sudden, though, these are pretty articulate. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because, again, one of the narratives was like, hey, his managers had control over his shit. He had control over his accounts. This is one of the managers trying to do damage control posing as Daniel Larson. So this is either Daniel Larson or a manager. That's the best assumption. The posting is not true. I'm the one posting on this account. I don't know.
See, as much as Papa Gut is the underrated king of misinformation in the Larsonverse, we can't help but be
If you say so.
thankful for Papa Gut for covering the story. A lot of Daniel's TikToks are unfortunately lost media now, and this video would be extremely hard to make if it weren't for his video showing off the now deleted TikToks.
Yeah, I mean, listen, that's probably the only reasonable, meaningful criticism in this whole thing was that I probably, unfortunately, whether it was intentional or not, which it was unintentional, put a fucking I put Daniel Larson on the radar in a way, and it's likely that these fucking trolls get off or were getting off to the attention I would give them. They were probably fucking laughing and kikiing every single time I'd make a video, but they were like, ha ha ha. We fucking trolled the guy successfully. Papa Gut, that fat fucking idiot's talking about it. And they're right. That's why I really haven't talked about it. Because, like, I acted stupidly. I should have just never really talked about it in the first place. I don't think I had a positive impact. I think that at the beginning, Daniel Larson was very, like, not really known. Maybe he would have blown up without me talking about him. But it seems like there was more motivation for the trolls to escalate. Like this guy, clearly. As I made videos, because I'd be like, hey, this is bad. Oh shit, this isn't good, and I would just fall into it. And so, like, the reality is that whether of all the criticism I can give these children as a grown fucking man, I unfortunately like signal boosted something unintentionally. and gave them the attention they wanted. Although without all that, we wouldn't have gotten Rolling Thunder. So who's to say I did anything wrong?
There's obviously nothing wrong with speculating things, of course, but as a content creator, you need to make it clear, Gut, that things are just speculation instead of just treating it like facts to your entire fan base who's watching. Because
All right, cool. I'll take the advice from the guy obsessed with people with fucking autism. His whole life is just obsessing about lolcows. It's definitely, I'm gonna listen to that.
unlike you, Papa Gut,
Unlike
at
me.
least to me, it's actually important to back things up with receipts and evidence when pointing fingers.
You okay, most of the claims you made weren't backed up, and actually you proved yourself wrong in your narrative, so yeah, okay.
I think that creators who have covered individuals like Chris Chan, such as Geno Samuel, and
Geno Samuel shows all the facts. Geno Samuel is very different from you, bud.
content creators who have covered people like Daniel Larson, such as myself, have done a much better
I
job
mean, obsessed about him?
with that. However, after not speaking with Party House in years, 2023 would be the year that Daniel decided to again remember this Oakland incident and further explain what took place.
Ah, yes. Yes, the guy who thinks that he's dating Grace Vanderwall is about to give us his mental perspective on something that happened years ago. I'm sure we're going to get a really good case here. Also, you said years after he hadn't talked to Party House, implying that he started talking to them again. Why are you guys so, like, why? I wonder why they're so worried now. I wonder why these guys are so worried about people thinking that they're, like, really bad actors in this situation now all of a sudden. It does seem a little bit strange to me. Because like you guys are clearly something is happening in their life where they are like really worried and they feel like they need to change the narrative around what happened. I wonder if they're applying for colleges or something.
Alrighty, so back when Jared and Josh were my managers, when I was in the mental hospital in San Francisco, California, this would have been when I took Amtrak to California and it went viral and it says Daniel Larson went to Los Angeles from Papa Gut, that video.
Okay.
It actually wasn't California. I mean, it wasn't, it wasn't Los Angeles. It was actually, sorry guys.
Oakland. Yeah, you even showed in the video before that he thought he was in Los Angeles, didn't you? So what does this have to do with anything?
It was actually San Francisco.
Okay.
And the truth on the reason why I went to California at the time, DDRC, Riva, told me I couldn't go. My care provider told me I couldn't go. I said I didn't give two shits and I would go whether they like it or not. So I went and got on Amtrak without paying. I got on Amtrak because I didn't have the money, because I barely made enough to even do my job to begin with. I got on Amtrak and I basically hid in the bathroom while they were checking tickets. And I got to
Smart play, dude. Smart play.
all the way to California, to San Francisco. And I didn't have the money to come back to Colorado. And I ended up having to beg family for assistance. I ended up in the mental hospital, and that is what explains a little bit about the reason why I went to San Francisco. And
What does this explain to anybody? In this video, you guys say that you had a management company that encouraged his delusion that he thought he was going to be a famous singer. So I don't really understand what this does. You guys were clearly encouraging him that he could be a successful singer because you wanted to troll him. And you've conveniently left out the part where you guys Party House, where Sony contacted him and told him to take his pants off or something on his TikTok live. What happened to that? It's interesting. Where did that go?
and the entire Amtrak incident. Whoever was putting it public that I was lying about all of that was not true.
Not to mention, Daniel would end up taking many other trips across the country on his own, which is to be
Well, this isn't on his own. This is with that other, what is the guy's name? Fucking freak that was like controlling Josh as well. No, what was that? Michael or something? I don't remember.
covered in
The
future
hot dog guy.
episodes. As for Flexburger, this crazy incident
As for Flexburger, who now has a picture of a weird looking picture of Joshua Block. As for Flexburger, the person's still obsessed with lolcows. Wow. That's a great, okay.
was far from the end of his work in the lore. Flex has been around from the very start of Daniel's very first TikTok account.
Sorry. So Flexburger was around from the very start, but everything that I said about Flex having influence from the start is wrong. Gotcha. Those things make sense.
Until the very end.
Michael Quinn, yeah.
While Daniel may be in jail for the time being, this is only the
I hope Daniel Larson fucking stays in jail. Unironically.
Start of Larson Leak. The Larson Files are a docuseries, a brand new docuseries, separate from my docuseries, a collection of the many stories that Flex and I have taken from his time managing Larson. This
God, you guys are so dumb.
is just one of them. If this video is well received and you guys enjoyed this episode, of course, count on there being more. I'd also like to take this time to personally address a pretty big issue currently going on within the Daniel Larson community. There have been so many accounts on TikTok amassing hundreds of thousands of followers, just pretending to be Daniel. But it goes further than that. They've even been catfishing new gen fans, messaging them off of third-party phone numbers, pretending to be Daniel in attempts to scam them. Dude, it's
You don't even sound genuine when you're talking about this. You realize that, right?
so fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Okay.
Alert! I just broke up!
So if you're one of the many people freaking out like this girl that Daniel messaged you back, I hate to tell you that you're just interacting with an edgy 15-year-old boy. One of the
Unlike when Daniel Larson was actually in control of his accounts. Oh, wait, but he wasn't. It was 15-year-old boys in control. Okay, fuck.
accounts was actually dumb enough to think that they had ended their live stream, but they actually revealed that they were just playing old videos of Daniel. And when the
So just to be clear, what you're showing us is that you are so obsessed with Daniel Larson still that you are actively tracking fake Daniel Larson accounts and getting upset because you feel like you should have the control over the Daniel Larson accounts. That's very normal. That's some very normal behavior you got going on there. Okay, cool stuff, man. I like that a lot.
account
Was that self-report number 40? Like, okay.
responds to comments, it's usually just
Guys, it's super weird. It's super normal to be obsessed with fucking lolcows in the way that we are, by the way. And we're actually the real Daniel Larson, guys. What the fuck?
the owner of the account setting up puppet accounts under the name Daniel would say in the old video to make it seem like he was actually shouting them out when really he's fucking locked up in jail.
Thank
I need
God.
to make it 100% clear that Daniel Larson is still imprisoned. He has not been let out of jail. He has not been released. He has been in the prison system for well over a year now. And that is
Good,
not
thank
changing
God.
anytime soon. Not
There's some fucking good news.
only me, but the Larson Leak channel requests that you spread the message to these new gullible fans and unfollow these fake accounts. He has absolutely zero internet access at the time of this recording. So make sure that you're following Larson Leak as well as at Flexburger and at Kusaribra on Twitter.
They're upset that Daniel Larson's in jail, so they feel like they need to make fake content or more content about Daniel Larson.
And Instagram to get the realest updates on Daniel Larson. Hopefully this series will be
Why? Why are you so obsessed with this guy that you keep saying is a pedophile? It's very weird. And how come you haven't said one time you think it's a really good thing that he's in jail? He should be in jail. He needs to stay in jail. What is happening?
enjoyable to the new followers, the old heads, and just everyone in between. So while there are plenty of great documentaries such as mine and Turkey Tom's and Nick Nobody's and Questions and other people covering Daniel Larson's life as a whole, this specific series is meant to cover the specific incidents that most people just don't know about. Me and Flex truly do think that these stories are ones that are worth sharing, instead of just staying Discord urban legends for.
Well, what's happening is they're trying to reframe the narrative now that things have gone on. It's very strange. Okay. Oh, these guys are fucking pathetic.
Ever, ultimately to end up forgotten. We truly do believe that you guys deserve all of the lore. As always, I'm Kusari, and I hope you've enjoyed the story.
This was horrible. This video was actual dog shit. Was that the guy who came in here? Was he like pretending to be someone else? Like, here, there's a video about you, Papa God. Okay. Cool. Terrible video. I think you guys need to stop obsessing about fucking lol cows and go try to get a job prospect. So, yeah, I'm sure Turkey Tom's video was better than these ones. Holy fuck. But okay. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing. Whether, you know, I'm sure, I mean, I've gotten things wrong. I'm sure Turkey Tom has gotten things wrong. But I'll tell you one thing. I doubt that he tried to get things wrong. Whereas this video was just a complete, like, lying reframing of the situation. To try to, I guess, get out of their own, I don't know, to try to fucking reframe the narrative that then communicate that they weren't actually in the wrong the entire time.
I'll see you guys in the next one.
You won't, but okay. Cool stuff, man. What is this? Just great stuff. Love it.